I drove a Highland yesterday, and I've got feedback on it.
Please share.
Yeah. So at first they told me that they couldn't give me a test drive until the weekend, but I can't this weekend. Got family over. So I said, is there any way to get it earlier? And they gave me one yesterday, which was cool, but it was only for 30 minutes, which was enough time for me to familiarize myself and spin around. Got on the highway up to speed, over 70 miles an hour. I could tell that the handling is much more agile, which is really nice. You can feel, even though it's not performance, you can still feel the road really well underneath the vehicle, and the suspension is damped really nicely. So the harsh tones of the road don't come through, and the kind of low vibrations of the road are extremely muted. So that's nice. The door closure is really cool. The ambient lights are cool. I took it into a underground parking garage, and it's really neat. And I really like that. You can see inside the car really well, which is nice. The screen is faster than my 2021 3. So that is very much improved. The Ryzen processor is running efficiently. And the back screen is extremely respondent. So that's nice. Both of the screens actually look nicer than the 2021 as well. It seems like the color depth seems more vibrant. So that's kind of my video take on that. I wasn't able to play any video. I didn't have enough time. The Frunk obviously is the same, but it closes a little bit nicer. There's a different latch mechanism. The Frunk powered is a little bit nicer. It seems to close softer, which is nice. I like the buttons on the steering wheel. The actual click of the buttons is nice. It took me a little while to get used to using the turn signal on the steering wheel, and Autopilot was not calibrated yet, so I wasn't able to do that. But the cameras look much nicer. The higher resolution and slightly wider field of view was nice, so I appreciated that. Overall, like, navigation seemed faster too, so it resolved a couple inputs quicker. Not materially quicker, but it was still nice that it's very spunky. So I appreciated that. And overall, like, the visibility seems better from the driver's perspective. I feel like, and right afterwards I got into my X, so I wasn't able to immediately compare, but it seems like the driver's position is more aggressive. In other words, I feel like I can see better around the front of the vehicle, maybe like up to 150 degrees. And so that's nice. I was able to put the steering wheel low so I could see everything, and I could still have room on my lap. So it's like the steering wheel wasn't like right in my lap. So that's nice, because I like to have a very clear view of the road. It felt a little cleaner in that respect, which I appreciated. The seats are nice because they're cooled now, so I really appreciate that. That's one of the other reasons why. I would say my top reasons are the quieter. And I did decibel readings. So at highway speeds like 70, 75 miles an hour, the current 3, even with touring tires, is about 90 decibels. And the new 3, this Highland, is about 80. So it's materially different. And the coolest thing about it is that the high tones are nearly gone, and the low tones are very muted. And that's the thing that I really appreciate. It's those high tones, the whooshing of the tires on the asphalt or the concrete, especially in Washington State, where we have exposed aggregate in the roads due to people using studded tires. And so it's very loud. And this really kind of removes that. It's pretty amazing. So you can still feel the road through the suspension, but you can't really hear it. So that's really nice. course, if you open up the windows, you can hear it clearly. And so I was having fun just kind of opening and closing it and feeling kind of like the thunk of the window as it closed. And I had the air blasting too. I turned up the air so I could feel it pressurize like instantly. So that's cool. The seals are much tighter. So that was nice. Anyway, that's kind of like my biggest thing, reason for looking at the Highland. And then the next one is that I really like the idea of the upgraded Autopilot computer, and cameras and sensors, you know, all the sensors. So that's good. And then kind of thirdly is the ambient light. I really like that light bar. It makes it feel very modern. And those are kind of my takes. And then I talked to the sales guy afterwards. Believe it or not, he's 19, 2 months in at Tesla, and he knew everything. So that was great, except the fact that if you lease one, can you transfer FSD? And the answer was yes, they told me. The only problem is when the lease ends. There is no option to purchase the vehicle. So I'm a little worried. So I'm going to get back to them today and find out what the answer on that is, because they didn't have an answer for that. I'm really worried that the answer is you lose FSD if there isn't an option to transfer it, and that's kind of a non-starter.
Thank you, Wes.